In this video, we're going to be showing you how to make it so that you have an easier time dealing with more difficult customers, whether it's in a B2B, B2C format, whatever kind of format it is, enterprise, whatever it is. We're going to show you the things that you want to do even before you're actually in any kind of a discussion with that client to make sure you have the highest degree of success. Firstly, let's make sure that we're on the same page as to what types of customers, prospects, leads you're going to have. There's basically 4 types. This isn't something new, this isn't something that I invented, but this is something that you should know. Okay? The 4 types. You're going to have cheap customers. What are cheap customers, right? Have you ever had somebody that they don't really care how good your service is, they just want to know what the price is? That's a cheap customer. Second type, you're going to have difficult customers. Cheap, difficult. Difficult customers, that's just every single thing with them is just a ton of work. Nothing seems to be easy. You can't quite put a finger on it, but everything is just made difficult. You think that you've made some headway, you think that you think you made some progress, but nope, you didn't. You're back 1, 2, maybe 3 steps. And maybe they just shut the deal down when you've already done tons of work, or they just give you a hard time. That's a difficult customer. Third type, a sophisticated customer, right? Somebody that is going to be smart. They've done their research. When you talk to them, when you talk to a sophisticated client, they already know who your competitors are. They've looked at your product. They already know all the information that they want, more or less. They know the kinds of questions they want to ask, and they're usually going to be pretty specific. They might even be a little bit difficult. But if you put everything and you lay everything out correctly, chances are that things will go well. That's a good customer to have. And the last type is a rich customer or a rich client. You can put rich, you can put affluent, you can put somebody that doesn't have any kind of financial issues. Their primary motivation is going to be based on emotion. How do they feel about you? How do they feel about your product, your company, your service? So you're going to have your 4 types. You're cheap, you're difficult, you're smart, and you're rich customers. Now, knowing that you have those 4 types, you sort of want to always think about, well, who are you actually targeting? Who are you working with? And if you understand that going in, then it makes things a little bit easier. So let's look at it this way. For a cheap customer, you want to make it so that you have an incredibly extensive amount of value that you're giving for a very low price, or for whatever price you're offering. So for example, if you're giving them a $100 service, you need to be giving them what they think, or what you're showing as being worth $1,000, for example. That makes it a no-brainer. That makes it much easier. So how can you do that? Well, for example, if you're offering video production, then it could be things like, for your, let's say for a 10-second video, 20-second video, 30-second video, you're including maybe commercial rights, you're including high quality footage, you're including something else for a short video. You're giving them a ton of value for their little. That's a very brief way that you can make it much easier on yourself to work with cheap customers. Difficult customers. My tip here is if somebody's being really difficult, don't work with them. If you can, don't work with them. If they're a massive customer, if you absolutely have to work with them, then there's a couple ways that you can do this. One is that you can limit the amount that you work with them so that you don't expose yourself to too much negativity and too much of a hard time. And you want to rethink your business. If your entire business is based on this one very difficult customer, you need to rethink that strategy. Is this really what you want? That you have these nightmares about dealing with this customer and that's what your business is based off of? So you need to go back and rethink that. You shouldn't be dealing with difficult customers. If you're dealing with difficult customers, then you need to qualify your customers better. You need to have a better qualification process before they become a customer or a client. And you need to think, how can you make it so that you don't have this in the future? And ideally, if you are having problems with difficult customers and you have to work with them, the number one problem there, most probably, is that your funnel is a bit too small. So you need to have a larger funnel, you need to have more leads. Let's talk about the smart customers. So for smart customers, people are not dumb these days. The internet gives you access to just about all information you could possibly want. So if you don't have your testimonials in order, if you don't have your features, your videos, your photos, all that sorted, if you don't have a product that they can somehow see reviews of that show not from just you as the owner or maker of that product or service that it works, but other people are also saying that it works when they do their research, that's going to make working with a smart customer much easier. And very important is that when they're talking to you, you need to know the answers to the types of questions that they're probably going to ask. So you need to be prepared for the kinds of possibly difficult questions that they might come up with. So if it's somebody that's seriously considering your product, it's pretty much a certainty that they're probably going to do their homework and they're going to look into your product and do some good amount of research. So questions like,
well, how is this better than your closest competitors?
Why is your price so high?
Does this include XYZ? Why or why not?
Those are the types of questions that you might easily be getting. You really want to make sure that your whole image, your brand, looks and feels like whatever it is that you're charging or you're going to be asking for. It has to look the part. So if you're going to be charging, $5,000, $10,000, $100,000, $200,000, $1 million, respectively, your website needs to have that look and feel. The testimonials need to be from people that have paid similar sums. Maybe if it's a very high-end product, several thousand, several hundred thousand, several $1 million, video testimonials would come in really handy. You need to invest in making it look the part. Last one, affluent customers. Here it's all about emotion. So you need to make it so that they feel confident in working with you. Like this is the right move. You should make it feel like there is no other company that they should be dealing with except yours. You are the only answer. That's where you want to be at. If you can make them feel that way, then you're gonna have a very high likelihood that you'll be able to close that high-end, affluent, rich client. If you can make them feel absolutely comfortable working with you and that they don't feel like you're needy, especially that's a huge way to lose a deal, that you really need a deal, okay? That's gonna be a massive turnoff. Feelings, emotions, so you wanna work on that. The key thing with different types of clients and just generally doing business today is most of the sales actually happening before you talk to the customer, before you talk to the company, before you talk to the business. They need to already feel comfortable about your entire brand, your entire company, even before they ever communicate with you. The research, the questions that they might come up with, things that they might want to know from other people that have dealt with you, you need to have all that answered in your website before they deal with you. If you found this kind of information helpful and you want to get future videos with this kind of content, make sure you hit subscribe and hit the bell button so that you get notifications next time a video comes out. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.